It's your boy Coach Defense here. Thanking you for supporting the channel. Become a lockdown defender by hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you're enjoying your time, hit that like button. Help us grow in the community. Now check out our latest video. Leave a comment. And as always, you got to step up to lock it down. Seattle Seahawks. Very interesting team for me. The Seattle Seahawks, and I kind of underscored this point with talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars a few weeks ago. They a team that it puzzles me as an analyst, right? They have seemingly had success in certain areas, roster wise, player wise, but it just seemed like they just got a bunch of guys hanging around. Like it just doesn't seem like they can bring it all together. They could put it together. Like it seemed just if they just it's something lacking, and I'm not sure what that something is. Because I've seen the talent, come and go in Jacksonville. I've seen the talent come and go with Seattle. Now, short of what they've done, with the Legion of Boom in years past, it's been a little shaky, been a little rocky for me. It comes down to the Seahawks. I don't know what to make of them. They got a new coaching staff now. Defensive minded guy from Baltimore. They got him. Again, they keep hitting on draft picks. But it just doesn't seem like, especially defensively, it's very, very head scratching for me defensively what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen guys get drafted. I'm like, this guy gonna be a monster in the league, and he just kind of he's just another guy. It's a Jag, just another guy.
It
doesn't pop. So I don't know. They managed 9-8 last year. I've been critical of the Geno Smith signing since they gave him that extension. I didn't think they should have did it. I think they should have went a different direction. But he's still a guy at least for one more year. Drew Lock moved on. I believe he's in New York now. He's in the Giants. He's with the Giants.
I think so.
Yeah, lost Bobby Wagner to the Commanders.
Yep.
Will Dissly's ironically with the Chargers. Go figure, right? So they lose those three, but it did gain Laviska Shenault from Jacksonville by way of Carolina. They added George Fant was a nice addition for the interior O-line because that was a little bit of a struggle for them. And on the O-line, George Fant is added to the interior O-line, and they got another familiar name in Jonathan Hankins on the D-line to add to that room. But they drafted Byron Murphy Jr., so they got when I say they got dogs on this front line, they got dogs. I mean, we talking pit bulls, Rottweiler, German Shepherds. They got dogs on this front line.
I love that pick, by the way, too.
I agree. That pick was great for them. And we actually saw them in the preseason. And when I tell you he wreaked havoc on our backup linemen, he wreaked havoc on our backup linemen. It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the backfield constantly. He was giving us fits. So, I mean, tell me exactly how you feel about this. Because like I said, I'm in turmoil. I don't know. I'm in turmoil about this team and what direction they're going. But what do you feel about their offseason?
I mean, just like you said, if ever there was a middle of the road, like just nothing exciting about, well, let me not say nothing exciting because their defense, I do think is going to be really good, but they're just, like you mentioned, they're just a middle of the team role, like their record says, 9-8, nothing special about them, not going to get over the hump in my opinion. And I feel like it's really at that quarterback position. I don't think Geno is the guy. I just really don't. Some of the additions they added, Laviska. I mean, you think about, the weapons that they have on offense already. You got DK, you still got Lockett, you got Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker. They got guys, but
they got a lot of good names there.
Yeah, it sounds good. You know what I mean? And of course, Laviska is going to be interesting to see how they, shake him up. But they, like you said, they added a defensive-minded coach. They've been loading up on defense. It seems like that's their identity. That's where their bread and butter is going to be. My question is just on the offense. I just don't trust Geno to be able to take them to the playoffs or beyond. I think that they're going to have to make a drastic change. I think those receivers feel, I don't think Geno is I think they like Geno, but I think they know they're going to need a guy eventually. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way that the league is right now. So I just don't buy it. I don't buy into him. New coach he's going to have to make me a believer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't see him. If it was Pete Carroll, it'll be a little bit different. But I think that move had to be made. But they're going to have to make me a believer right now. I'm just not buying into it. I will say though, I do think that their defense is going to be really good. That's going to win them some games. but their problem and their downfall is just going to be that quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean that's always the Achilles heel. In today's NFL in 2024, the quarterback is paramount. If you don't have a solid quarterback, if you don't have at least a Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
if you don't have at
Yeah.
least that, then you don't have much of anything. Yeah, I've been a proponent of that statement for a while.
Yeah.
And again, I just don't think Geno's the guy. And what are we doing as far as the succession plan? I don't know. Again, the first year head coach, and there'll be prime time to try to figure out another move to make because as it always happens, even happened with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. When the guy is in there, he's not your guy. That gives you a motive to move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully they will address that next year. But for right now, this season they got to ride with the guy. So I don't see much turning wheels turning for this team. I really think they're going to be right where they're at, or maybe worse this year, just depending on how things shake out. Like I said, what the offense is going to look like with a new OC, new head coach. What's they going to look like? I mean, what the identity is going to be. Because typically the motive, the modus operandi for defensive minded head coaches is hard nosed defense, smash mouth defense, run the ball, control the clock, win the game.
Yeah.
That's typically what their mindset is when it comes down to offense. But just question of whether they can do it. Now they have the team to do it. I mean, because they got two good backs. You got talking about Charbonnet and Walker. That O line. They not only had a good two solid booking tackles in the center, but they drafted two interior linemen that's going to play right away. That's going to be good for them. So I believe that they have the abilities to do that. Just question of whether or not they do it. And it's probably would benefit Geno to do that because you don't want him throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. You just don't.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing is the same questions you had about like their identity. I wonder what it is that they're trying to do on offense, because all the signs point that they're trying to transition to that ground and pound team. But last year they spent that pick on Smith and Jigba, who's an aired out guy, and then they still got DK, who's and Lockett. These guys that can spread the field.
Right.
Either you're gonna feed them or you're gonna lose them in the locker room. One or the other.
Got a super athletic tight end and Noah Fant that you're doing nothing with.
Yeah, nothing. So as something's got to give. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I don't know what their identity is. I don't know what it is that they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to figure it out themselves. But like you said, it ain't going to be Geno airing that thing out 50, 60 times a game. That's not going to do it.
Which is tragic for selfishly for us for fantasy reasons and us for fans, right? Just watching the game, because you're going to not see much of what DK and Lockett and Smith and Jigba can do, which I'm still salty about the fact that Smith and Jigba was as a Seahawk and they're not using him. He could have been a Charger, but whatever. But yet again, talent wasted. I just hate to see that. Like I'm not going to be cringing to see Justin Jefferson be catching passes from Sam Darnold. I'm going to be cringing to see Geno Smith catch passes from DK catch passes from Geno Smith or lack thereof.
I was going to say, or even worse, run blocking.
Right.
Yeah, that's even worse.
I want to see Justin Jefferson and DK run blocking instead of catching passes, right?
Yeah.
It's bad for the game. It's bad for the game. But
it is.
But I think that's where it ends. I think that's where it lies. I think that's where they're going to be at come regular season. It is going to be that boring team that runs the ball 35 times a game, passes it 20. Call it a day.
That's their best bet.
That's probably the best motive to win. But I'm curious that, because you got me thinking, because they got a defensive minded head coach, they got all the pieces on defense, and we're gonna get to the roster in a second, talking about what the defense looks like. But I think that with those pieces, if that defensive coordinator, if that defensive minded head coach can get them rolling and get that defense rolling, I think they'll be better defensively, because it's been a mess since they lost the Legion of Boom. It's been a mess. I mean,
absolutely.
It really has, and it's been a shame, because again, Bobby Wagner's just out there wasting away. One of the better linebackers of all time out there wasting away. So hopefully he can get some burn and get some play in Washington this year. But it was a rough watch. It was a rough watch.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, and I mean, they got Sam Howell back there backing them up.
Yeah, former commander.
Got love for Sam, but once again, these aren't guys that's going to take you above and beyond. So,
indeed,
outside of the skill players, it's just. I mean, and it, like you said, it's a shame to see it, because all those skill players are about to go to waste, and they brought in another guy with Chenault. So, they might that to me, he's another guy that they get involved in the run game as well. You saw how Jacksonville did it, and he's another guy that you can kind of get the ball, open space and things like that. So to me, that's another person that's kind of like a contingency plan to airing it out down the field. Like he's a guy
Right.
that you can get the ball on the screen, something short, and just get him some yak. So
Yep.
that's what it looks like they're trying to do. It looked like they're trying to minimize the Geno factor as much as possible, which I understand and I get it. But at some point in time, you're gonna have to throw the thing to win.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I almost forgot they got Connor Williams. They snuck him off injury because he was injured. He came back, got a clean bill of health, and now he's playing center for them. Christian Haynes, kid I coach from Bowie Bulldogs. He's from out of Connecticut. He's playing guard. So yeah, they got Fant actually playing right tackle. So they got good booking tackle, good center, good interior line. Laker Thompson is a reserve at this moment. They got a lot of names here, man. It's just you just look at that quarterback position to shake your head.
Because I mean, look, like in this league, it's only so much you can do without it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine this. I always use him as an example here lately because I know he's gonna be a free agent in a year. Like, put Dak Prescott on his team, it's a whole different conversation.
Oh my goodness.
So,
oh my goodness. Like, they will be looking at as one of the top teams, if not the top team in the NFC.
Agreed. It's a shame.
Yeah, that quarterback position could change everything, man. And it's just that's the way that the league is now. It would have been one point in time in the league, maybe in the early 2000s or something like that, where they might have got away with it.
Right.
But
not
the
now.
way not now. Nah, the way the league is, you need a guy behind center. You need
Agreed. A good one too.
Yeah.
A good one too. But yeah, like you said, I'm excited about his defense, man. I'm reinvigorated because I keep forgetting that the defensive coordinator, their head coach is defensive coordinator, former defensive minded head coach from Baltimore. So Leonard Williams, big guy in the middle, got him, got Draymond Jones. Like I said, they ain't went on got Brian Young. We got line up in the 34th. You're gonna line up Leonard Williams, Draymond Jones, and Brian Murphy in a zero. In a 1 eye and a 3, then you're gonna turn around and put Shannon Nwosu, Boye Mafe, and or who's the other kid that they have? I'm naming Derek Hall. You put Derek Hall versus the passer. That's a unit.
I'll tell you, they're going to have a really good defense. I can see it. They added Jerome Baker in the back end. That's a good add too.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Bobby Wagner, but he's a solid linebacker. I don't people give him a lot of credit for him. His athleticism. He just had a little bit of injury bug in the last few years, but if he can stay healthy, man, I think he's going to be good. And the fact that, I think he has a better chance of it because he's not going to be getting eaten up by linemen as much because all them dogs he got in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he's going to have a big year right now.
I agree. He could have a Pro Bowl like year if he wants it. I forgot about Jaron Reed. Jaron Reed,
Jonathan Hankins down at the bottom.
Hey, listen, if they get ran on at all this year, that's a travesty.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a travesty. It really is a travesty.
They could be a top 10 defense.
And Kurt and I gushed over this about a few weeks ago about how good the secondary is.
Yeah.
Rick Woolen. You got what's the other kid? I did draft Nehemiah Pritchard, who I'm high on as a sleeper.
Yeah, Julian Love was a dog.
Right. Yeah, they got a lot of talent. The only question I really got is their safety position and Rashad Jenkins, who was good in Jacksonville. He wasn't good with the Chargers, but he was good in Jacksonville. So if he can play like he played in Jacksonville, they're gonna be solid.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I would have seen this before. The fantasy draft. I probably would have picked him up, but that's probably.
That was a good defense.
That could have been a sleeper pick for anybody who hasn't drafted yet. But I'm excited to see their defense play. Hopefully, they're not on the field too much. That's the one thing. But the thing is, we've seen teams. If there's going to be a saving grace for this team, it will be their defense. We've seen teams ride their defense to the playoffs and ride their defense to.
Hell, the Chiefs did it last year.
Yeah. So I'll never count a team out. I can see them having a defense that, does that. If they start forcing turnovers and, making things happen like that, then they could ride that to a winning record in the team that's competing. But like I said, eventually, if we're talking about the whole thing, it's going to come out of that guy that we talked about earlier. But that defense, that's going to be their bread and butter for this team.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's report card time. So what grade would you give them for their offseason production?
I give them, I'm between a B plus. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them a B plus. I think they could have done a little bit more, but I did like we talked about it, like the additions that they made on the defensive side of the ball. I like the fact that it seemed like they committed to an identity, whether it's the same identity that they had in the previous regime. It looks like they're transitioning from that, but it's a clear plan that I can see, and I like the fact that they committed to that identity, adding those guys on the defensive side of the ball. We talked about the defensive line. Obviously they lost Bobby Wagner, but they replace him with a pretty solid guy, Jerome Baker.
Yep.
So I'm happy with that. We talked about the pick with Murphy. Happy with that. There really wasn't much they could do at the quarterback position. I don't think there were many moves that they could have made. There's some people that they could have brought in that would have been, at least equal to Geno, but it wasn't many,
Yeah, wasn't nobody going to put you over the,
Yeah, it was nobody that was, that was a surefire go out and get him. So
right.
I think they did the best that they could with what they had. They put themselves in a position to where they can make it happen. Possibly it's going to be hard, but that's all you can ask for with what you got right now.
Sure indeed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give him a C plus. I'm gonna give him a C plus. Like I said, I'm just curious about what the defense is gonna look like because it has been looking like, although they have had guys and big time players on that side of the ball, it just hadn't looked well, last few years. So I'm curious about what this new coach is gonna do for that defensive unit. But again, they got all the names, got all the pieces. It should be no excuse why the defense isn't good this year. It really shouldn't. It'd be a travesty. But again, it's just a weird question of what they're doing on offense. Again, the quarterback position is bringing me down, man. It's dragging me down. It's almost depressing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a waste of talent with the other positions.
It really is. So I haven't finished in third in the division myself.
Okay. Yeah, same.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so here's the question. So can Geno Smith elevate the team to the playoffs?
Nope. cut and dry. Nope.
Yeah. Nope. I would say because based upon how everything will shake out, I think they're going to just be outside of that. For me, I think they're not going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be 9-8, 8-9 type team. I do got other teams like your Commanders that we talked about earlier sneaking in. I do think Philly and the Bears and the Lions are going to be there. Not the Bears, but the Lions and the Packers are going to be there. Falcons, I'm high on the 49ers and the Rams. So yeah, there's going to be all men out. They're going to be an all men out for me. Yeah. So although they might have a good enough record, but I just don't think they're going to. That these teams above them is going to just edge them out.
I agree.
Cool. All right.